started. Welcome to AM Flow with Hang. And today, we're going to have a conversation about how to deal with self-judgment. Now, as a wholehearted high achievers, I know and you experience this many times in your life of how hard you can be in yourself. And one of the things that you're very good at is judging yourself, beat yourself up, and being very harsh on yourself. And one of the things, I think intellectually you also know that judgment is a thing that stop the flow of experiencing life, stop the flow of healing, and stop the flow of creating. And being a high achiever, you want to stretch your full potential. You want to live your full life. You want to create, you want to experience life, and you want to feel the best in this body. So wouldn't it be serving for you to effectively and graciously deal with your self-judgments? Now, can we eliminate self-judgments? I don't think we can. As long as you're in this human body, you're gonna have judgment. So the approach that I'm coming from is how we can facilitate the flow of this judgment in a way that serves you. So I think the very first thing to connecting to is to acknowledging that you have that and own that. Own that you are humans and you have a crap load of judgments for yourself. And the driving force for you may be different from the driving force for me or somebody else right next to you. So I think it's important for you to acknowledge and to connecting to what is the driving force behind your judgments. One of the common thing that I've seen within myself and the people that I work with is that a lot of time the driving force behind judgment is the need of being accepted, the need of being loved, the need of belonging, which is all basic human need. And one of the things for most empaths that I know, including this one, is that because you are so empathic, you can feel people's judgment, and the pain of judgment can be excruciating, depending on the degree of empathic that you are or how sensitive you are. And because that pain is so great, we want to do everything we can to not feel that judgment, right? So before the personal development, the inner work, and all these stuff that bring you to this point, when you were younger, the only way to defend that pain is to block that judgment from coming in. And one of the way that very common that I witnessed is we create our own judgment first. So we trying to judge ourselves first before somebody judge us. Because apparently, in some logical reason within the system, when you judge yourself, it is painful, but it's less painful than somebody else judge me or just you, right? And then what happened is, because you're so hard on yourself, and we're taking pride on that judgment because I am smart and I feel superior for protecting myself, for judging myself before somebody else judge me. So when somebody else come in and give you constructive criticism or something that may feel like judgment, you get defensive. And it's not really serving you in business, in life, and in relationship, right? It take you away from your heart. Judgment is a thing that take us away from your heart. And when something take you away from your heart, that take you away from you, from being your very essence. So in that, let me catch a breath a little bit. I seem to be very passionate about this topic. And you know why? Because I was a master judger for a long time. And, over the years, I've learned to unravel those judgments. And hopefully by now, I'm getting better at that. And even that, I'm a great judger. I'm great at judging people. Yeah, right. And so because we are judging ourselves, and a lot of time we project that judgment on the other people too, right? We go into this vicious loop, a cycle is never end. And the thing you and I know that is we don't have control over people outside of us. We have control over us and our own judgment. So one of the things, the kind thing that you can do to yourself, I think, when you deal with your judgment is to acknowledge that you're human, that's part of the natural process, and acknowledge that you've been trying to protect yourself. And perhaps that is not the only way for you to protect yourself. And give yourself the opportunity to be resilient with what is. To be emotionally strong enough to feel the pain of what is and let it pass through you. And yes, I'm aware, being an empath, the pain you feel is greater than people who are not as empathic as you. But part of life is painful. And whether you want to turn that pain into suffering that's up to you. So start there. Give yourself permission to be with what is. And one of the practice that I can invite you to do is to first notice that you're judging yourself. And then second, to consciously choose to shift that judgment energy to observations. Because what happens is judgments, a lot of times we add up story, right? We add up meaning of what's happening. So for an example, the difference between judgment and observation is this. Let's say you're dealing with yourself. We deal with weight issues. One of the common things we all go through, right? Self-image issues. So let's say your ideal weight is 120 pounds, right? That's 120 pounds. And you are at 130, 135. So a judgment is you see yourself in the mirror, you add up so many stories of how I am not good enough, I'm not disciplined enough, I'm lazy, I eat too much, like all these things that may not necessarily be true and connect to the fact. What is the fact? As an observation. The observation is that the ideal weight for me is 120 and I am 130, period. There's no extra emotions, there's no extra story, there's no extra paragraph to go with that, to spiral down to the filth of the past or whatever the judgment that your parent imprint on you, whatever it is, you see for what it is. Because when you see things for what it is, from the observational standpoint, then you can provide the solution to that challenge for what it is. You can objectively address that for what it is. Yeah, is it painful to feel that I am out of shape? I'm not 120 the way that my body is naturally framed, not the way that I should. I'm not 120. It is painful when you're not where you want to be. So allow yourself to feel that pain and not dodging that pain. Because when you don't allow yourself to sit with that pain, to dodge it, you will turn that pain into a longer suffering, a perpetual self-beating, self-judgment, and harshness that's unnecessary. Now, is it easy to do? Then say yes. It's practice, because it requires you to deal with letting go of some of the past stuff. All the judgment that you put on yourself in the first place, or all the judgment that you took on from other people, from your family, that you believe is true in the first place, and really connect to the truth for what it is. It's a lot harder to practice than the way it sounds, and I get that. But if it's easy, then everybody would have done it, right? And you are wholehearted warriors. I know you can do it. I know you have what it takes. Otherwise, I wouldn't make the invitation to you. And I practiced this firsthand, so I know how hard it is. My friend, practice. Shift your judgment to pure observation. And notice your struggle within yourself. And once you practice that and you get bored, you want to elevate the game, then start practicing that with people outside of you. Start watching how much story and bullshit you make up on other people's story without knowing the truth. And why do we judge people? Because judging people give us a sense of superiority. It makes us feel powerful, right? I mean, if that's how you want to live your life, continue to live that way. But is that really serving the long game for everyone involved? Probably not. So if you are heart-based, empathic nature as a human being, chances are you want to have compassion toward others. Chances are you want to see things for what it is. If that person is an asshole, you can see for that it is. Don't lie to yourself. If that person is nice, then that person is nice. But then we cannot judging somebody based on a story that we make up, not basing on the truth. So practice shifting that judgment to observation, and that's how you deal with your self-judgment. And I kind of add on to the judgment toward others. So that's all I have at the moment. Let me know what landed for you based on this flow. I would love to hear from you. What's helpful? And most importantly, what are you going to do about it? And when you go out and implement these principles that I'm sharing with you in the flow, I'm curious, how did it work out for you? And also, let me know if there's a topic that you want me to talk to me about at the next AM flow. As always, guys, thank you so much for being here and fully be present with me. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, set on a notification, subscribe to the channel. We'll let you know when the next video come out. For now, if you feel inspired to share this with someone that in your heart, in your thought right now, do it right away, because more than likely it's going to be helpful for them too. Okay, sending you a lot of love from my heart to yours, and from Hawaii to wherever you are in the world.